Well, here joining us now exclusively on Phoenix TV is Phoenix forward Nathan Ward. Nathan, welcome to Manchester.
Thank you.
Nathan, obviously you're new to the team this year. You've come from Canada, originally from Edmonton, and played last year in Odessa down in Texas. I guess there's a fair range of difference there between Edmonton and Texas.
Yes, there's a lot of sun in Texas. You know, it's very dry, flat. Although some parts of Alberta is very flat, but yeah, it was a bit of a shocker. So, but other than that, it was great.
But you were 2 years with the Odessa club, weren't you?
Yes, I was. Yeah.
And how different was it to being a professional player as going straight from college?
It was a bit of an adjustment at first. In college, we only play about 30 some odd games a year, and then making the jump to pro is about 60 some games, and then plus playoffs. You know, it's a little bit of an adjustment, but I like to play more games in practice. You know, so it was nice to get into that rhythm.
And of course, as you said, playing 60 odd games, and in a competitive league like the Central League, there's an awful lot of bus travel, isn't there?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, not like there is here. It's actually nice. Farthest road trip I think is 4 hours here, but. Yeah, we had some 13, 14-hour road trips, but it's all right. We had a nice setup there with a travel bus, sleeper bus, and stuff, and spent some time on the road with the boys and play some cards and whatnot. So it's fun.
I was going to say, because you've just mentioned there the longest trip in the UK is about 4.5 to 5 hours, depending. Basingstoke and Edinburgh, the furthest trips for Manchester. But we watch a DVD, and as you say, there's a card school, but 13 hours on a bus, that's an awful long time. You've got to do, I guess there's an awful lot of pillows on the bus and a lot of sleeping going on.
Oh, definitely. Last year, we had about 12 sleepers, 12 beds. And, we'd usually leave at about 11 o'clock at night. And then the guys would just sleep through the night on the bus and then get there the next day. So you're not really up all day, which was kind of nice. Time passes pretty fast.
So it's a bit like the bus trips on Slapshot then?
Yeah, definitely, except a little nicer bus. No smoking at the front of the bus either.
Now, prior to turning pro, you were at Lake Superior State University. What were you studying at university, Nathan?
I was studying business management.
And you got your degree?
Yes, I did.
So ultimately, down the line, let's assume that we have a long and successful hockey career, and hopefully some of that will be here in Manchester. But what do you see as the long-term goal for Nathan Ward?
Well, I like to play as long as I can right now. I had an opportunity to further my education here in Manchester, and that's what I hope to do. It's always nice to have something to fall back on if hockey doesn't pan out the way I want it to, and I just like to keep playing as long as I can.
So no long-term future plans actually set in stone yet?
Make a lot of money.
Well, I guess we're all on that one.
Yeah.
But now turning to the fact that you're now here in England after a couple of years in the Central League with Odessa, and what are your early impressions, A, of Manchester, and B, of the league?
Well, when I first got to Manchester, even before I got to Manchester, I was told about the weather and all that stuff, and how it's, it'll make you miserable and all this stuff. And, I haven't really found that out yet. I mean, the weather hasn't been great, but the city's awesome. Apart from the rush hour traffic, it's great though. I mean, being overseas is something I always wanted to do, and just taking in all the sights right now, and trying to get some pictures, send it back home to family and friends. So.
And first impressions of the standard of the league over the first couple of weeks?
I think it's great. It's very competitive. I think the most interesting thing for me is the rinks. They're not overly big, but the fan support is great, and the fans you get in just electrifies the building. It brings a whole new atmosphere, and I think it's awesome.
I was going to say, are you the kind of player that responds to an intense atmosphere from the fans?
Well, I try to block everything out when I'm playing, fans and whatnot, but you can't help but hear it every now and then, especially the chants. I'm not used to the chants. I hear some chants sometimes. I think that's from the football here, but no, it's definitely a part of the game, and any help you can get from your own fan support is great.
I guess one of the things a lot of people like to know is, because of the noise in a building such as this, which is only small, and therefore the noise can get really loud, how on earth do you guys communicate on the ice with all that noise and bedlam going on around you?
Well, you wouldn't imagine it, but it's not overwhelming on the ice. You can actually hear your teammates quite well. Just you get used to your teammates' voices and whatnot, and certain ways to call for the puck. Nicknames, whatnot. So, yeah, you get used to it.
And any problems with the coach's Scottish accent?
Well, no, not yet. Actually, he speaks really fast, but I managed to concentrate on it and make out what he's getting across to us. Assistant coach there, Paul, I have a little difficulty. Sounds a bit like the water boy, or the coach from the water boy there. He cracks me up every time, but no, he's great, and hasn't been too hard so far.
And what sort of goals have you set yourself for the season? Are you the sort of player who sets yourself targets and things that you want to achieve in terms of, specifically in terms of points?
Well, I think every year I set myself a goal to do better, and last year was a huge improvement for me from my first year. And obviously we don't play as many games here, but I'd like to get at least a point a game. So that's what I'm hoping to do.
That's quite a fair target in your first year in a new league.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. We got some good players here, and I think it's possible.
I was going to say, because with the makeup of the squad, there's players who were in the Central League last year, so I guess it's not been too difficult settling in with some of the other new guys.
No, not too bad. Like you said, a lot of the guys came from the Central League, so it's a bit like the Central League in that part. And you played against some of the players, and now you're playing with them, and you kind of get used to their tendencies, and the same thing playing against other teams. You played against them before, and I played against them before in the Central League, so. It's similar, but it's not, and you just get used to it and try to put some points up.
Going back to where you're from now, originally you're from Edmonton in Alberta, and with the NHL season now just a couple of weeks away,
yeah.
Would we be correct in assuming that you're an Oilers fan?
Oh, absolutely, die-hard Oil fan all the way. So they look to be good this year. I made some changes in the off season. Kevin was a pretty aggressive manager there, so he's not manager anymore, but he made some good moves, and I can't wait for the season to start. Boys got a hockey pool going here, drafting Monday, so it should be interesting. Should be a lot of fun.
But actually, in the real thing, you fancy Edmonton this year?
Oh, every year, every year. They're gonna win it every year. But no, yeah, I think they'll be good, and. I just talked to a few guys who get to watch some of the games online, so hopefully I'll be able to keep up with them there because, like I said, I'm pretty hardcore fan.
And you mentioned Kevin Lowe there before. There's talk of him possibly being the GM for Canada in the Winter Olympics because Mr. Gretzky said he's not going to do it, so possibly Kevin Lowe could be GM for Team Canada.
Yeah, well, I could see that. He's a very smart man. He moved up to president of hockey operations there now, and I think he did a great job for Team Canada.
Well, whether he gets the job for Team Canada, we'll just have to wait and see. But he's from Edmonton and you're from Edmonton, and we're delighted that you're here in Manchester. Nathan Ward, many thanks for joining us on Phoenix TV.
Thank you very much. Cheers.